Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. I am Travis Fair, and we have our party of me, Travis the Fair, Fluffy, and Aloth. And when we last left off, we had just finished talking to everyone in the town, and we were working our way over here into the inn, where we were going to go ahead and take a rest for the night. And then hopefully, the next day we'll be able to learn more about exactly what ails us. So let's go ahead and actually rent a room.
Greetings.
Alright, okay, so we get 3 different options. Inns allow characters to rest without using camp supplies. Cheap rooms are usually available, but if you have copper to spend, you may consider the more expensive options. The bonuses they provide last for a long time and affect the entire party. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's see. So this is the common room. It doesn't cost anything, but I don't get any benefits. Laborer's Rest. Lasts for 2 rests. +1 to Perception and Mechanics. And then this one just gives Resolve. I think I'll do the Laborer's Rest. We had the money to spend, so might as well. That bed looks nice and cozy. Nice little romantic evening between me and Aloth. Alright, your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face is shriveled inward like molding fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly, her head snaps up and her eyes open, and they are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air, she speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with some magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with a new, queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. Well, that would be an absolutely horrifying dream to have. It would not be an all too pretty sight to see that face snapping up and looking at you. All bloated and decaying. So naturally we're going to go look at it again. Just going to go right up there, stick our faces in it, breathe in that air again. That fresh air of rancid corpse smell. It'll be great. Okay, yeah, so she's here in the tree looking, got that purple mist hanging around her. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bough that sags at the tug of her nose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head rolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light in its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect yourself that has no worldly dimension. Alright, well, I'm going to reach out just like I've been doing to a couple of the people we've seen. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out toward the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with a new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing, electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman, and when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded by a milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head. The rope creaks as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? It is both, I think. Yes?
Am I imagining this? I really, really hope so.
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I, wherever here may be.
How exactly are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
Well, I need to understand something that's happening to me. I think it's causing this. She nods, a look of pity on her face as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there. You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
You mentioned that before, or in a dream. What is a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on, some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on. And those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them. Know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
Okay, so that must be what I'm seeing when I talk to those people. I'm not necessarily seeing their past, although I could be, but I'm seeing someone, I guess, their soul in a different body. So I guess when they die, their soul, this is at least my understanding of it, their soul breaks apart and then it comes back together, but not necessarily in the same, and then goes into a new host. So I'm seeing fragments of memories from the soul in other lives, or even that person's life. It's pretty interesting. What exactly did you mean when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties. You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
Okay, so it sounds like we're gonna go be looking for Merwald, another watcher. So that's gonna be interesting. I think I survived a Beowick. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
So, you said souls break apart over time?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
Okay, so that could be something that happened to us. We could be, as she said, a strong soul, and that would be pretty interesting. So, let's see. I want to know more, or actually, I want to know something about you personally.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
Well, who are you exactly?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
What happened to you? How did you, end up, where you're at? She laughs, a rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
No, I do not. Why don't you tell me?
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
Yeah, sounds just about right for times like these. Someone provides an option, and since nothing in this world no medical treatment in this world has 100% chance of success, he kills her because he thinks that it was all her fault. And what exactly is an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are.
Yeah, and that's how it typically goes, is every group of people is judged by the worst of their kind.
But the best of us? The best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins. Miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
Alright, well, I do have other questions.
Of course, dear.
And by other questions, I meant, bye.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldara closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the noose, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. I was granted the Crucible of Soul. Aloth looks at you through narrowed eyes. Are you alright? You seem to have lost just now. I don't know if this is going to mean anything to you, but I'm a watcher. His arched eyebrows recede into his hood. Well, that's interesting. He gives you a sly grin, and I expect this has something to do with the hooded figures in the ruins, In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Do you know anything about Watchers? Only that they are rare and that they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions, he coughs, as you just demonstrated. Alright, well, let's continue on then.
Hey there. 17 and a half.
What? Did you just say that because I walked near, or did I accidentally click on him? The smell of pipe smoke, at once earthly and sweet, winds its way into your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origins, where you find a broad man with straw-colored hair leaning against a mossy rock wall, his pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a peculiar smirk.
17 and a half. Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
And I believe in a previous video I mentioned that he sounds like McCree from Overwatch. I'm definitely going to say it's the... I'm placing bets right now that it is McCree from Overwatch. Although those bets mean nothing because no one will get any money out of me. Let's see here. What are you talking about?
The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted anyway.
Aloth frowns. Is that what you people do for fun around here?
Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
What was that you mentioned about the dwarf?
The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
That's a good vote on your count, but no, I was not. And what makes you think I was interested in this woman? He looks at you a moment, his brow arched. His smirk broadens.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
Boom. Got him. Alright, well, I guess, so when I was talking to her, I was just assuming that the time was still, but I guess it would have probably, from the sounds of it, I was talking to her at like normal conversational speed, so it didn't really affect time at all. Do you know what a watcher is?
Careful, friend. Best not use that word round here. Could be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come through these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be. Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
Well, so you think you were going to be hanged?
The town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fellow who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
Well, that's rough. So, what war? Saints' War. Only one in my lifetime. Fella decides he's living the incarnation of Aethys, overthrows Ceres, marches on Deerwood, so we gave him a Deerwood and hello. And what do you mean by a Deerwood and hello?
We blew him up.
Well, that's one way to do it. So, who is Aethys? God of rebirth and redemption, formally, anyhow. Maybe they call him something different from where you're at. Or where you're from. I had other questions. I got time. Why was your headman hanged? Got involved. Radric sent men down here the other day, said they had on good authority, someone in town was working with Kolsk, plotting Raedric's overthrow. Said if you didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one was coming forward, so Swithin, that's my headsman, he steps up and says, it's him. They took him at his word. He sighs and shakes his head, his eyes fixed on the tree. Bound to happen sooner or later. If you're not plotting against Raedric, then for protecting me. What does your town have against you?
Pick the wrong god. That's what it comes down to. Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, that was a temple to him, to give you some idea. Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, and then I did too. But, he didn't make it back. After the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly, especially after the legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me. Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Raedric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
Alec glances at you and lowers his voice. You can see why I was eager to leave. Who is Kolsk that you mentioned? Someone who got tired of all the hangings. He's on the run now. Probably will be till they catch him. And if you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? He gives a half smile. Drinking, mostly. Point of fact, I'm on my way out. Just haven't figured where I'm going yet. Not a whole lot of places out there that don't think Waidwin's legacy started with Waidwin. Well, if you're going and I'm not too liked here either, we could travel together. Where are you headed? Some place called Cade Nua. There's an old watcher there who might be able to help me.
Seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before. Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger, and a strange one at that. But truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
There's a fine reason if I ever heard one.
All right then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
Alright, well, let's get going then. You know, I kind of like this dude. Mm-hmm. And I think I looked at it, and I was right. It is the same voice actor as McCree.
Sure.
So he has a bit... That gives him a bit of a more positive standing in my eyes. And it looks like we leveled up. So let's go ahead and see. Oh, I guess we just click on this here. Alright, so let's get we have 6 points to spend. We have lore, really high survival, decent amount of stealth. I guess the same amount as lore. I think I will put 1 point each into those, and then 1 into athletics. Actually, I want to be able to get that last benefit from the resting that you can get at survival, so I'll do that. I have 3 points to spend, so then I'll do athletics, and I will save that last point. Swift. Actually, wait. What did it say? Okay, they will carry on. So, yeah, I think I'll go with that for now. So we get a new ability. That's cool. So Swift Aim. The ranger gets into a speedy and fluid offensive rhythm, reducing accuracy but increasing fire rate and reload time with ranged weapons and attack rate with melee weapons. Wounding Shot. Okay, we've seen this one before. Predator Sense. Heightens the predatory instincts of the ranger's animal companion, giving them a damage bonus on any creature suffering damage over time effect. And then vicious aim. By lowering attack and reload rate, the ranger is able to take more careful aim, giving them increased accuracy and damage. Okay, so these two are kind of opposites of each other. I think I would rather take the more damage and slower attack rate. I noticed in a couple of the fights previously we were missing a lot, and I would definitely like to be able to use this and get land more of those hits and do more damage overall. Let's see here. It doesn't say model or modal. A modal ability is one that causes effects to occur continuously while it is effective or active. For example, a paladin's zealous auras grant bonuses to everyone near them for as long as they are active. Modal abilities are often grouped so that only one modal ability in a category can be active at any given time. These groupings are reflected by how the abilities are organized on the action bar. Okay, so yeah, I think so. This isn't used like in it's not like a usage per encounter sort of thing. So I actually really like that. And yeah, we'll do that for our level. And then next we have, I see that Aloth has leveled up. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for him. So he is a mage. He has very high lore, it looks like. A little bit of mechanics. So I'm actually going to go into his mechanics one. Lore again, because might as well. He can provide some useful, hopefully he can provide some useful insight into some matters that we come across. And okay, so he has a lot of skills available to him, it looks like. Let's see. So he definitely is a mage. He's a wizard, I guess. So wizards have access to a variety of offensive and personal defense skills. Unlike priests and druids, wizards learn individual spells that they store in and cast it directly from their grimoires. Grimoires can only hold 4 spells of each spell level, which motivates wizards to keep multiple grimoires for different needs. Every 2 levels, wizards gain access to an additional set of spells. However, they can automatically learn 1 spell of any level they can access each time they advance. Wizards also have the option of learning spells from grimoires they find or buy. Initially, their spells can be cast a limited number of times per rest. As wizards gain power, their weaker spells eventually shift to per encounter use. Okay, so we have our higher ones will be sort of cantrips, ones per use until we rest again is what it sounds like. So he has level 2 spells. So I'm guessing level 1, I might not be able to use them a ton, but I might have a couple uses per encounter, so that would be nice. I guess I'm going to go through these. Let's see. Chilling Fog. I don't think that you're throwing chilling frogs at them, but yeah, never know. Calls a blindingly white icy fog into existence, inflicting blindness and freeze damage over time to any in the area of effect. Okay, I don't want to learn both of them. I'm just seeing. Creates a glowing quarterstaff of pure energy for the wizard to wield, granting a bonus chance to hit and giving the wizard endurance with each successful strike. Grants the caster otherworldly sight, resulting in preternatural accuracy for a short period. Empowers the target with unnatural movement speed, increasing their movement rate. Calls a field of unearthly blades into existence, inflicting immediate pierce damage and hobbled actions on the target in the area of effect. A bolt of electricity jumps from the caster's fingers to the nearest enemy and then to the next nearest, causing decreasing amounts of shock damage. Coats the ground in a slick oil-like substance, inflicting knockdown on anyone in the area of effect. So that sounds like it also could affect allies. Surrounds the caster with a shield of spirit energy, granting an increased damage reduction and concentration bonus. And then a quick strike of crushing force, dealing a little damage, but having high chance to disrupt enemy spellcasters. I think the Ghost Blade sounded cool, so what I want to do is I think I want to get 1 level 1 spell and 1 level 2 spell. I'm not sure what his spells are right now, but I saw at the end that there's a chance to re-level in case we don't like what we do, I guess. Bewildering Spectacle creates a bizarre and perplexing visual distractions, confusing enemies in the area of effect. Spins a resilient, viscous web throughout the area of effect, leaving unfortunate victims stuck inside. Creates a mystical shield around the caster, suffusing them with bonuses to burn, freeze, corrode, and shock damage reductions. Causes enemy wounds in the area of effect to ignite, inflicting additional burn damage over time each time they are wounded. Eats away at the target's spirit, inflicting corrosive damage and converting the essence into endurance for the caster. Shrouds the target's vision in total darkness, blinding them. The target becomes paralyzed, afflicted with boiling pustules of foul-smelling liquid that erupt from their skin, sickening those nearby. Infuse the caster with vitality, giving them a temporary increase in maximum endurance and health. The caster becomes able to see an enemy's weakness and vulnerabilities as though they were physically tangible, increasing the chance of landing a critical hit. A cloud of heavy fog settles in the minds of those in the area of effect, dulling senses and wits, inflicting penalties to perception, intellect, and resolve. Creates duplicates of the caster to distract the enemy, granting a high deflection bonus, which is reduced with each hit taken. Creates a lance of pure necrotic energy, causing corrode damage instantly and over time. Creates a scorching ray of flame between the caster and the target, inflicting continual burn damage to the target and anyone caught in the ray. Creates a rebounding ball of fire, inflicting burn damage upon anyone in its path. Okay. I think I'm going to go with that. A lot of these are a bit worrisome because it sounds like they would also hit teammates, and I'm not really sure I want that at the moment. I'm going to go with offense for now, just because I don't know quite what would be good. But if I find that we're taking a lot of damage, I'll probably switch him over, get some more situational abilities, things that can provide a bit more support and all that. So let's see. All right, so we leveled both of them up, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. We got our new guy. Does not look like he has a level up. But he is... Hey. I wonder if we can check. Okay, so he looks like a warrior, kind of like what Kalisha was. And let's check our inventory, see if there's anything that he could use. Okay, so he actually has some pretty good armor. He probably won't need this. This just has the 10. And then he uses sword and shield. He has a bow as a secondary, though. So... looks like he's just one-handed in shield, so we can kind of keep an eye out for one-handed weapons now. But yeah, so it sounds like we are ready to go off an adventure. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a break here, but when we come back, I am going to head actually north back into where we came through Valewood, and I want to go... I have a bit of a grudge match going on with a bear, and I think that I'm going to go ahead and kill that thing. I remember there was that body in there that had the purple essence, sort of like the dwarf, and I'm guessing I can glean some information off of what happened to him. And then after that, we will come back through Gilded Vale and head over here to Caed Nua, which is where that other watcher is supposed to be, and he will finally have some more insight. I mean, we did gain a bit of knowledge on what's going on with us, but yeah, we are going to... head north now, or I guess in the next video we'll do that. We'll just kind of position ourselves to go off an adventure. But yeah, with that level up with our 2 new allies, I feel like we can handle that bear. Hopefully, I'm hoping that this guy can take a bit more damage. And yeah, so thanks to everyone for watching. If you like the video, go ahead and just let me know in any way you can. That could be liking the video, subscribing, leaving a comment with any suggestions on anything I can improve, and also letting other people know and have them and send them my way, and we can all continue playing through this game together. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Bye.